Now that there are not one but two Laura Kinneys, how will the mutants of Krakoa react? Well, let's hop into the pages of X-Men issue number 18 and find out together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, the X-Men had managed to liberate the original Laura Kinney X-23 from the vault where she was being held. Obviously, Synch, her teammate and after-a-fact lover who had spent hundreds and hundreds of years with her inside the vault during their last mission, is overjoyed to have her back. But unfortunately, what should be a happy reunion is sadly marred by very many moral and philosophical questions regarding what they're going to do now that they have two X-23s running around. Obviously, the mutants always thought that this could be a possibility back when they were putting together the mutant resurrection protocols, but so far they've been very lucky with this issue, and as such, they never actually came up with a plan of action should it ever actually happen. Most of the members of the Quiet Council are taking an out-of-sight, out-of-mind approach to this issue, but that stance is made a lot more difficult to maintain when Jean Grey and Cyclops say, actually, Laura's gonna be on our team now. Yep, that's right, we got our own old lady Laura here, member of the team. And if you think this is a tough pill for Beast and some of the more stringent members of the Quiet Council to swallow, you ain't seen nothing yet, because obviously we have Wolverine Laura, who we discover has actively been dodging her older self, not wanting to deal with all the implications of this issue. It's really easy for young Laura to run off too, as she's having adventures with the Exterminators right now fighting vampires. In fact, from what I understand, the events of this book tie in directly to what's going on in that Exterminators miniseries right now, with a bunch of Dazzler's fans going missing only to return as vampires. The on-running joke in this issue is that the two Lauras just can't have a moment alone to talk to one another, because just whenever they think they're alone, they end up coming under attack again. And because they both are Wolverines and both have amazing healing factors, they're both uniquely suited to dealing with this vampire problem. Now, in a shorter B-plot, we actually check out what Cyclops, Jean, and the rest are doing out in space. It would seem that the Blossom, one of Orchis, the mutant-hating organization's space stations, has themselves a plasma fire and has to vent a bunch of their own staff out into space, meaning that the only people nearby and able to rescue them are actually the X-Men themselves. Because, after all, the X-Men under Cyclops save everyone in need, and yes, that includes even the people who hate and fear them. Jean hopes that this act of good faith today might actually pay off in their favor later. Well, again, people like Beast think maybe it's high time they clone themselves an agent without an X gene who can actually infiltrate one of these Orchis black sites and find out what's going on inside. Now, back with the Lauras, when they actually do get a chance to sit and talk with each other while slicing up vampires, of course, because they are still Wolverines at the end of the day, they do actually end up touching on some pretty uncomfortable topics that they're going to have to deal with moving forward, mainly from here on out. Should one of them die, they're not gonna be resurrected. Old Lady Laura says that they would probably choose to resurrect her in that situation because, well, she has seniority and she is the original one. Well, the younger Wolverine says she doesn't plan on dying anytime soon, so it really won't be an issue. Old Lady Laura says that she has no bad blood for her younger counterpart, quite the opposite. In fact, she likes the idea that there's a version of herself who lived a different life and found happiness all the same. In fact, she's even willing to give Laura the Wolverine name just for simplicity's sake, the way she thinks she's been Wolverine longer than just about anyone else in that Vault universe, so hey, let someone else have the name. Old Lady Laura also hopes that her younger counterpart doesn't think it rude that she doesn't want to have a relationship with her and doesn't want to hang out, because I mean, well, she's A, making up for a lot of lost time, and B, it's just kind of weird and unsettling. Even by the weirdo standards that is mutant resurrection and the Marvel comic book universe. So yeah, Old Lady Laura and young Wolverine Laura are in a good place right now. But that's not to say everyone is on her side. Beast and a lot of the more suspicious members of the Quiet Council wonder if they can even trust this Laura anymore. After all, she was trapped in the Vault for so long, there's no telling what exactly the children of the Vault did to her. As far as Jean is concerned, though, if Synch managed to take her back and accept her and understand her and believe that she's the real deal, then Jean has no reason to think otherwise. Now that's where the main story ends, but as the comic comes to a close, we actually get a little stinger for the next arc. We head out into the deepest, darkest parts of space where we see Crosshair. The famous space pirate and father to both Cyclops and Havoc had his ship come under attack by the Brood. Everyone is dead and he's impregnated all alien style. Hey, wait a minute, didn't the X-Men make Brew, their little buddy, the new leader of the Brood? Is this a new Brood? I guess we'll have to check back in next time to find out. And so that was X-Men issue number 18, everybody, and overall I thought it was a fun little one-and-done story that addresses one of those hanging nagging issues that have been here basically since the beginning of the Hickman era. What if they did accidentally resurrect an extra mutant? And the answer is, honestly, not that much. I have to wonder if it was any character who wasn't part of the larger Wolverine family, if people would be acting differently. It's certainly nice that Synch and Old Lady Laura got a happy ending to their story, as it has been one of the stronger focal points here in the Duggan era of the X-Men book. I even appreciate the two Lauras ultimately coming to a rather interesting kind of terms with one another. Hey, we respect each other's existence. We are both equally Laura, but also our own people, but just because that's true doesn't mean we have to hang out with each other. We can keep living different lives. Beyond that, there's really not much more to say about this one. It's perfectly enjoyable, and I would give it a 7 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cave Jewel, and if you're seeing me right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, which I am very appreciative of. It really helps drive engagement and retention and all that other good YouTube stuff. So does liking and commenting. Wink wink. If you like my content too, you should check out my Patreon page. We just redid all the tiers, so there's a ton of great rewards. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, and well, it would just really help me out. It's never expected, but always appreciated. So until next time everyone, I've been Cape Joel, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.